So I'm making this video in response to a question that I received on one of my recent videos. The question was, what is the difference between fully raw vegan and highly raw vegan? So when I'm not eating fully raw vegan, I'm eating highly raw vegan. So this is a very simple question for me to answer. I'm going to keep it as short, sweet, and to the point as possible. And I'll start by telling you what it looks like to eat fully raw vegan. So fully raw vegan, you're going to be eating your things like nuts and seeds, fruits and veggies, all raw, meaning you're not cooking them. And if you do prepare them in any kind of way, you're using things like maybe a high-speed blender, and if I'm making a raw vegan soup, I'll throw all of my ingredients in there and I'll use it, and it will naturally heat up the soup, but not to a temperature that's going to take away the nutrient value of the soup. If I use my food dehydrator, I'm not using my food dehydrator at a temperature higher than 118 degrees Fahrenheit, because that is going to keep my food still in what's considered the raw window, right? So things like that, juices, salads, smoothies, those are the things that you would traditionally consider to be raw. Okay. There are some things when I kind of think of like a percentage of your diet is raw. And I would say if you're eating like 90% raw food, you're eating fully raw, because 90%, baby, what's left? And if you want to be technical, people that are considering themselves 100% raw vegan, a lot of people are still using things like nutritional yeast, cashews and almonds. Those things are blanched. Those things are processed in a way that they wouldn't be truly raw, but they're still considered okay for the raw vegan lifestyle. You can have certain oils that are extra virgin, haven't been processed, and that are cold pressed. Those things you can have. I try to stay away from those things, but that is traditionally what people are talking about when they're saying they eat fully raw, or they're eating a raw vegan diet. Now, when you talk about a highly raw vegan diet, that's a little different, because you're still going to be consuming all of those things. And also, let me go back one little step. On a fully raw diet, you will see sometimes people have steamed veggies. Sometimes, so they still consider themselves raw because they have some steamed veggies every now and again. Okay, now let's back to the highly raw vegan. So highly raw vegan, that looks like still a huge percentage of your meals are highly raw vegan. It could look like you're eating raw until 4. That would be highly raw vegan. That means everything you consume up until 4 p.m. every day is raw vegan. It could also look like 75% of your plate is raw at all times. So that means if you make a plate, 75% of the food on it is going to be fully raw, and then the other 25% is not going to be raw. Now, when we're saying raw vegan, it's raw vegan. Don't be putting no animals on your plate and saying you 75%. Don't do that, okay? But that's what it looks like, and those things, you'll notice that if you implement that into your life, you're going to notice some tremendous health improvements. So start by maybe replacing one meal with a raw meal, and then replacing your snacks with raw snacks. Raw snacks would be things like your nuts, your fruits, your seeds, and go from there. Okay, so I hope that helped answer the question, and I hope it was short and sweet enough, and I will talk with y'all soon.